Welcome to No Movies in Hell.
And I'm LaClaw Scott. Welcome to this episode.
Oh yeah, I've given up counting episodes at this point.
We'll find out later.
By the movie or by the topic.
Yeah. So this episode, we are reviewing Eurovision from 2020.
It seems like this came out a very long time ago, but it's not that old compared to other movies that have been streaming recently, which are from like 2006, 2017.
Yes, it came out in the spring of 2020, which seems like it was a long time ago, but it wasn't. And it was nominated for an Oscar. Yes, for Best Song in a Motion Picture. So music, song written for a motion picture.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. When I first came out, I thought, oh, I want to watch that, but then I didn't for whatever reason. And so now finally getting back around to things. Also, we watched Barb and Star and we did an episode on that. And that reminded me that I don't watch comedies very often. And I want to watch them more. As I was watching Barb and Star, it occurred to me that I've forgotten how to laugh, but I've forgotten how to receive jokes and instantly react to them. I have to think about them. Like, is that funny? Oh yeah, that was funny.
I know it's hard.
2022, one of my goals is to watch more comedies. So if you have comedies to recommend, let me know.
Oh my gosh, I will definitely send them your way. I also feel like in the theaters, there's not a lot of comedies. It's drama, it's sci-fi, it's mystery or horror. It's interesting because with the pandemic, the shift went from like largely comedies being on streaming. So the Netflix, the Amazons of the world. I'm missing one. Disney Plus, that's where you go to, or Hulu, that's where you go to consume. Like Barb and Star was on Hulu. And also you have to think of like the comedians that you like and what projects they're doing. So I love Kristen Wiig. I love Maya Rudolph and Will Ferrell, obviously, and figuring out like, what are their next projects? I haven't seen them in something in a while. So what are they doing?
Yeah, speaking of Maya Rudolph, I saw The Way Back a few months ago. I'm bad about watching things on streaming, just quick one-off things I have on in the background, and I don't document them, and I don't put look at it from our categories or put the review on Instagram, but I should count it. But she was great in that. And yeah, so 2022, more comedies.
Make you feel good.
The other thing I think that is a problem in terms of watching comedies is I deprioritize them because I prioritize things that I want to see in the theater. And the reason I want to see them in the theater is because they have big special effects or they're action movies and you want to see the action up close or, see these things on the big screen, where comedies, I feel like it will be funny to me at home. I don't need the impact of the bigger screen. And so I don't prioritize it. I don't make a date to watch it. And then it just goes by and I forget. So
that makes sense. You kind of don't want to laugh in a theater now, I guess.
I was trying to think, what is the last movie I went to see in the theater where I laughed a lot out loud? And I couldn't think of one. I did see Raising Arizona a few years ago at IFC at the midnight showing. So that counts, I guess. But yeah, like a movie that I had never seen before in a theater and I just laughed freely. I can't think of the last one.
I can't think of one either, or it's been like a very, very long time.
Yeah, like Buffalo 66, I saw in the theater. People were laughing. I was laughing. But that can't be the last one, can it? That was how many years ago?
Yeah, maybe for me, this was a while ago, but like Swiss Army Man or something like that. Like something really silly and concept. Yeah.
Anyway, Eurovision was so fun.
Eurovision.
I love Iceland. You love Iceland. We've
Yes.
talked about Iceland because it holds a special place in our hearts. And it's beautiful, of course. And it's
Yes.
close because we were both in New York. So it's just like a little flight over. But yeah, so Eurovision, and it's so weird, right? Like people there believe in fairies, and this is true. Like you know that from going there as a tourist, people believe in fairies and elves and trolls, and it's yeah, it's surprising, but it exists and it's real to them. So Eurovision was great and that it captures that. I love Pierce Brosnan as Will Ferrell.
Oh, yes.
Father, that was great. I wasn't ever really sure why Pierce Brosnan, he was the ladies' man of their small town, but he was never
Yes.
able to get her mom, get involved with her mom. And he says at one point toward the end of the movie, you know, we've never had good luck with the women of that family. But then they get together at the end. Weird. That if you never had luck with them before, why would you get involved with her now?
Yeah. It was very what is it? Drive Me Crazy had the same ending. Very long time ago, 90s film. Yeah, that was kind of like but here we are. I really liked Eurovision. The Iceland background, and I like how they were from the small town, and it's like, you know, it has to take a little bit of time to get there, but you know, for them to go to advance in the contest, they had to go to Reykjavik, which is very common. And I loved seeing all the cityscape and saying, oh, I've been there and that looks familiar. That was fun. It looked like they had a ton of fun, you know, filming this movie. I've watched partially two Eurovisions and thought, oh, look, like this is a lot. Like the countries put a lot of time and effort into these, you know, the songs, the artists, and they go on to do amazing things. And so this was kind of eye-opening because I don't think that I've seen anything that, other than watching, you know, the actual contest, like the leading up to the contest and kind of like those steps, I feel like we're pretty close with a process in this film. I like Rachel McAdams. I think she's great. And it was really nice seeing her come out of, I wouldn't say retirement, but I can't think of the last movie that she was in before this film. I feel like it was, for me, the last film I saw her in was probably like the Wedding Crashers or something like that, which was more than 10 years ago.
True Detective season 2.
Oh, that's right. I did watch some of it.
I
watched some of it.
I do want to see it though. It's on my list of things to watch. I saw the first, which was of course great, and I saw is it the third one?
The third with Mahershala.
Yes, that was really good. So yeah, I like Rachel McAdams too. I wasn't a huge fan of hers in the beginning of her career because I think
you didn't like Mean Girls, or
oh, you know what? I did like Mean Girls, but I felt like the character that she played, any pretty girl could have played that. So like, I felt like that with Mean Girls and The Notebook. I felt like it wasn't a stretch, but I have liked her more in recent times. I liked all the guest stars, right? Like everyone who was on the committee to decide who's going from Iceland to Eurovision seemed vaguely familiar. And so I like that. I also like Demi Lovato as the singer who has, you know, such promise and then is killed. So
yeah, there are a lot of recognizable faces. you know, either maybe they're European like celebrities, or they were part of Eurovision at some point. And Dan Stevens is kind of like as the antagonist, or, you know, from Russia. And it's like, oh, I've never seen him in a role like this. He's like from Downton Abbey and the live action Beauty and the Beast. So I was like, oh, it's interesting seeing him this way, but you know, that's what acting is all about.
And I'll say too, I didn't know what Eurovision was. When this movie came out, I had never heard of it before. I thought it was just for a contest they made up for this movie.
Oh, Chris, you're gonna have to do a lot of YouTube homework.
I know. It's funny because I feel like I'm fairly
You're very worldly.
I feel like I'm fairly current on my pop culture, but Eurovision, just one of those things that slipped right by.
Well, to be honest, they didn't have one last year, so
makes sense.
Yeah.
So high ratings across the board, it looks like, from both of us. That is good.
I think Raiders' Choice. I mean, I thought it was just kind of average, and I mean, I liked it. Would I watch it again? I watched it twice. Probably not. I just thought it was overall okay. Like I really liked you know, the costumes, the hair, the jewelry was so over the top. I loved it. All the paillettes, all the sparkle, all the pomp and circumstance that went with Eurovision, I absolutely loved. And then it was just kind of like everything else is just okay.
I like I give it a 3 for Raiders' Choice because I don't watch a lot of comedies, because I really enjoyed this one. I thought the way that they incorporated the elf village, the little troll, where she's like, when the boat blows up and she's like, the elves have gone too far, you know, like I thought great the way they tied that in. So I gave it a 3. It was good to laugh.
It was a good laugh.
There's not a ton to say about it, really. It was great for what it was. I hope maybe there'll be a Eurovision 2. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I have a question for you. So since this was available on Netflix for streaming, if this worked, you know, if this would have gone to the theater, would you have seen it?
Yes, I think if I had seen a trailer for it, I think I would have been compelling to see it in the theater because it's Iceland and because it has that backdrop. And there's that one scene where they're in the basement, but in their minds, they're out on the lava beach and they're in these very like Viking operatic costumes and they're singing. I think that would have been enough for me to say, I have to see this in the theater.
I agree. I probably would have seen it in the theater too.
Yeah, but without that, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just seeing like the premise, almost like a lot of other Will Ferrell movies, the ice skating film, Blades of Glory or Talledega Nights or Zoolander. You see that's really funny and over the top and kind of, you know, poking fun at, you know, pop culture moments, and then you think, okay, yes, I want to see that in the theaters. So I completely agree. I would probably, you know, see it sometime on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon.
And like, there's that movie coming out with Channing Tatum.
Oh, yes.
I don't feel at all compelled to see that in the theater. But
really?
Yeah, but there's another movie with him coming out with Sandra Bullock later in the summer where she gets, I think, kidnapped, and he is the model who poses for the covers of her books, and he decides he's going to rescue her because he's not just a pretty face. And there definitely seems like there are enough action scenes and enough on location scenes to make that worth seeing in the theater.
Well, I would see almost any Sandra Bullock film in the movie theater.
Did you see Unforgiveable?
Oh, no. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It is. You have to hang in for the first half hour because it's a slow start,
Okay.
but it's worth it.
All right. Maybe I'll check that out. Is it a bummer?
I mean, it's called Unforgivable.
All right. I'll have to think about that. I'm trying to like incorporate more happier films
Yeah,
with
it's not
better
part of that plan.
outcomes. I mean, there is some room for error in my decision making, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, and I do like Sandra Bullock a lot. But yeah, it is tough. Like the first half hour, you're just like, whoa, okay, because it's such a slow start. And it has, is it John, who plays the Punisher? John Bernthal?
Oh yeah, John Bernthal. Mm-hmm.
I think he's in it, or it's that other guy who looks just like him, Pablo Schreiber. Pablo Schreiber and John Bernthal, don't they look alike?
Oh man, I have to check on this.
Yes. I'll send you pictures. I think they look at, sometimes I can't tell.
Maybe we should play an Instagram game.
We should.
Do these guys look alike?
Right. I think Pablo Schreiber is a little bit leaner. Like or maybe just because of the Punisher role, John had to
Bernthal looks
a lot. But
yeah. Huh. I need to. Who is Pablo Schreiber? I need to look this up. Yeah, I need to look it up.
He was in, I think, season 2 of The Wire.
I didn't get that far.
It's they're on the docks. He's also in a movie more recently about. He's a side character in a movie about these women who become bank robbers. It had Liam Neeson in it.
Oh, yes.
Widows?
Yes, I've seen Widows. Okay.
Yes. So he is the abusive boyfriend of the blonde one.
Okay, now I have to go back and I now I need to look this up because I really enjoyed Widows. Okay. All right. Yes, I have some homework to do.
We've gotten slightly off topic. That's okay. Do you have anything to plug for this episode?
We have, it is award season. So we will be having some fun stuff coming up soon, right before the Oscars, and looking forward to that, our Oscar predictions.
Yes. And we should talk about we should maybe have an episode about Golden Globes.
Mm-hmm.
It might be short though, because when the list of noms came out, I thought, wow, I haven't seen half of these. I made myself watch the Tender Bar just so I could feel more engaged.
Well, we did get a lot of we have reviewed I would say a few winners. Could definitely talk about that. I think the SAG Award nominations came out this week, so it's full steam ahead.
Yeah.
What do you have to plug?
So we are on Patreon now. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. We're on Patreon now. And so you'll start to see a lot of our content migrating over to that as the portal. It's still being hosted on YouTube, all the videos, and Instagram still has our reviews, or it kind of promotes the movies that we're reviewing, but we're keeping all the information on Patreon. Old stuff you can still find on YouTube for now, but eventually I'll be moving that over as well. Not all of it's going to be behind the patron wall. A lot of it'll still be out for public consumption, but we have a blooper reel that just came out, and that is behind the patron wall. So if anyone wants to see that, it will cost you $3, I think.
Awesome.
So
see those bloopers.
Yeah. And there will be more, I think, too. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for our next episode, which will be
West Side Story.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.